for me mama kwaba Eleba Ghanatube so aha ena ensema ekoso ewo yen man Ghana mu no onsa ebeka adafo nsema ekoso ewo Ghana mu de edoso lie papa na eni soso mese makwa koboaboa ebi ano ede apel adafo yembohwi na enkotie ensem no na yembra.
Yes, Honorable Zanetor.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. It's Zanetor. And I would like to thank you for the opportunity to contribute to the statement made by our colleague. The incidence of fires occurring in our communities across our constituencies and markets is becoming all too common. And Mr. Speaker, it's starting to cause great concern to all of us, especially given the level of damage, the death toll, and the effect on livelihoods to our constituents. I would like to take the opportunity to offer my condolences to the families of the bereaved, as well as wish a speedy recovery to the personnel and other persons who played their role in bringing the fire under control. Mr. Speaker, there is a need for urgent retooling of the Ghana National Fire Service. Time and again, when they come before the Committee on Defense and Interior, the budget that they require in order to be able to fulfill their mandate and protect our citizens and properties is never up to the level that is required. And time and again, they face problems even accessing some of the places where there are fires, because certain rules and regulations are not adhered to when it comes to the building of certain structures. Mr. Speaker, the illegal electricity connections that are also made are key to what is happening in our various markets, as well as the fact that sometimes the fire hydrants are not accessible to the Ghana National Fire Service. Mr. Speaker, if we are to see indeed a change in the trend that we keep seeing, then there has to be an all-of-government and all-of-sector approach to how these issues are approached. I do add my voice to the maker of this statement with regards to what has to be done as a matter of urgency to actually curb this incident of fires. Mr. Speaker, in 2020, there was a similar incident that happened in my constituency in the Novotel market, after which promises were made for this market to be reconstructed. As we speak today, Mr. Speaker, this market has still not been reconstructed. The most recent incident of a market under fire was with the Kantamanto market, and we've seen what happened, the level of destruction. Mr. Speaker, this has to be looked at. All our markets have to be made really friendly to those there. There have to be regular fire drills. People in communities must know what to do when there's a fire. There have to be compulsory installation of fire extinguishers. Even here in Parliament, Mr. Speaker, we don't know the fire drills because we are not taken through them. We are not clear on what the exit strategy should be in the case of an emergency. Mr. Speaker, as a nation, we need to take it more seriously what to do in the event of these occurrences. It's all well and good not to put the systems in place until something goes wrong, until people die, until people's lives are damaged, people are injured, and we keep coming back to the floor and lamenting about these issues, but we're not addressing them. And I really appeal to our Minister for the Interior to really take a close look at what is being done in terms of supporting the Ghana National Fire Service and local government with regards to what happens at the level of the Assembly, so that they are empowered to do what is right and not to take some kind of favoritism approaches to who is going to be asked to abide by the law and who is allowed to get away with infringing on the rules and regulations regarding building and access. And so, Mr. Speaker, I hope that given the tragedy of what is being brought on the floor today, we shall use this as a springboard to do what is right across the country, to provide more security in terms of prevention of fires and how we address these emergencies in our various communities. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to support the statement and to commend the maker of the statement, the Honourable Member for Asante-Achem Central, a very respected Member of Parliament, and to join my colleagues in extending sincere condolences and sympathies to the families of the lives that have sadly been lost through this tragic incident, and also to signal our sympathies for the speedy recovery of the personnel of the National Fire Service, as well as some residents of Odumase who are currently recovering at the various hospitals. Mr. Speaker, with this statement, we understand that the 5th of March was a sad day for Odumase. and indeed a sad day for Ghana. The nature and the scale of disaster is one that cannot be overemphasized. We have seen similar scale of disaster of this nature in this country. We saw one happening at Apiati so sadly in 2022, where lives were lost. About 17 lives were lost in that instance. In this particular incident, we are told that currently some 5 persons have sadly lost their lives, and others in critical condition, with properties that have been razed down in explosion. But the properties and stores may be reconstructed, but the lives lost cannot be recovered. So it's important that as this is brought to the fore, we follow up keenly, lessons drawn from it, scaled up across the country to be on the preventive side to ensure that the storage and sale of explosives are enforced, the regulations of this enterprise is well enforced across the country, and we do not wait for another incident of this nature to reoccur. But Ghana has demonstrated, Mr. Speaker, to be a state of empathy, a state that sympathizes with its citizens whenever such incidents occur. A reference to Apiate incident where the government, the state led efforts in reconstructing the entire village, restoring livelihood to the community. Much the same example was demonstrated a few days ago when in the budget of 2025, when the budget was read by the Minister for Finance, we found expression in that same budget an allocation of 242 million cedis allocated to supporting victims of the Akusumbo Dam village. Same was also seen an allocation of 200 million cedis to support the victims of the tidal waves affecting communities in Ketu South. These are very commendable budgetary allocations. Equally deserving are the people of Odumase. It is my appeal that the state, consistent with that same sympathy, would allocate a commensurate budgetary allocation, emergency fund of its kind, to support restoring livelihood to those who have lost their properties, who have lost their stores, and to even support the personnel of the Ghana National Fire Service who are currently pending recovery, who may never be able to return to work again, and to restoring the equipment that were destroyed in the process. But just as my colleague who earlier spoke has indicated, the Ghana National Fire Service, a time has come more than ever before that a complete retooling befitting of a state as Ghana is done to ensure that in every district we have the right equipment and fire tender available to be able to fight such incidents promptly as and when they happen. It took the support of the Ghana National Fire Service Station from Ajuso to travel all the way to support when the fire service at Odumase were empowered. So with these few words, Mr. Speaker, consistent with the rules of this House, may I invite you to refer this statement further to the Committee on Defense and Interior and jointly with the Ministry of Committee on Finance to follow up on the investigations and subsequent support that the state could give in supporting the victims of this sad incident.
In summer, gum ewa Ghana no eno ena ukoti any bi so ohwe no measure say all the comments no ebebre me ewo comment section na mejibre akenkan ni na ede amofefefe me ka wo say aha Ghanatube in summer koso ewo yeman mu onsa ebeka enti ene na dofo on subscribe ya subscribe mami na hit notification bell no for more updates here bituma na wenya ne interpass memo we free say obe like e videos ni na afin so wa share ede amaye sisi ade odofusu ni